unusual gifts they've given to you. Very few family. I mean, I didn't recognize this till I was probably in my 40s or 50s. What unusual parents, and particularly what my father, what an unusual person he is. Very commonly on the weekend, after he'd been working in a dental office all day, we'd take off at the end of the day, sometimes 8 o'clock at night, drive till 2 in the morning, and set up camp in some remote place in Lake Wenatchee or Lake Chelan, and we'd go camp for that weekend, go squat.
If we couldn't find the camp, sometimes we ended up in a landfill.
Gravel pits. We were there.
Off the road.
We were used to sleeping in the back seat. The four of us were stacked on top of each other. Just about. Barb, you want to say something?
So this is the first I heard about us saying something. So this is kind of spurs.
That's why it's going to be short.
Yeah, it is going to be short. But Dick's right. We have very remarkable parents, and I'm so thankful for them, and I'm thankful that they've both been blessed with long lives and good health. And besides what Dick just told you, my parents are very spontaneous, and they would sometimes we'd be driving down the road, and there'd be a waterfall coming down, we'd be going over the pass or something, we'd see this waterfall alongside the road, and my dad would stop and let us go over there and play under the waterfall. And when they were like in their, I don't even know how old they were, but they were sitting by the banks of the Wenatchee River by Leavenworth, and they saw these kids coming down the river.
70s.
They were coming down the river with no tubes or anything, just in their swimming suits, and laughing, and they'd run the rapids, and then they'd get out and run up the bank and get in and do it again, and Mom and Dad looked at each other, and they said, yeah, let's do it. So, and how old were you when you did that?
70.
I have no idea.
In their 70s, I think. So they're nutty.
There was one time it was hot. We were home. It was at Christmas time. It just snowed about 1.5 feet in our house. And Dad says, it is so hot in here. We had a fireplace going and heaters. And he said, I'm just going to go take a snow bath. I said, a snow bath? He said, yeah, get on your swimsuit. I'll show you. So we went out and he put on his swimming trunks. It was like 30 degrees. We go out in the backyard and make snow angels in the backyard.
In our swimming suits. It became a yearly tradition.
Yeah. Anyway, very few men can claim to have built their own airplane, fallen from a sky in a homemade hang glider, climbed Mount Whitney, climbed Mount St. Helens, and traveled to Japan and God knows, I don't know where else. But they're amazing people, and he's an amazing guy, and we just wanted to say thank you, Dad, for all the things that you did. Zach sent us a little, you'll see it on your page today, but he just said, thanks for being the patriarch of our family and for being the example of what it's like to be a real man.
All right.
I got a good bunch of kids. They learned their lines really well.
I was going to say that some of you may not know that my dad is quite a scholar. There's very few things that he can't be conversant about because he reads constantly. And he has so many verses, Bible verses, and also poetry just at the tip of his tongue. And so one time I was complaining about working, and he said this: she could swing a 6-pound dumbbell, she would fence and she would box, she would climb upon the rivers, she would row upon the rocks, she'd play golf from morning till evening and tennis all day long, but she couldn't help her mother because she wasn't very strong. So I've never forgotten that, and so that's the kind of thing that was a pleasure to grow up in that household.
I just wanted to say along the same lines as Becky, if you haven't noticed, my dad can talk about just about anything, and I can remember as a young girl, 9 or 10 years old, he used to get the Scientific American magazine in the mail every month. And he would give me that magazine and challenge me to read articles and quiz me on what I had read, and it always had some puzzles in it and challenged me to do the puzzles. And so we had parents who challenged us to use our gifts, whether they were mental in that way or creative in the ways my mom challenged us. She's probably one of the most creative women you'll ever meet. So we just feel blessed that we had parents that were willing to encourage us and nurture us along those lines and encourage us to adventures, not to be afraid of stepping out and taking an adventure and taking a risk.
Amen.
All right.